Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Casey and here on my channel we talk about personal growth, planning, and personal finance. Today I'm going to be showing you how I set up my Clever Fox Premium Budget Planner for 2022. So if you're interested in that, just keep watching. So before we start, I do want to make note that I did do a flip through and review of this planner, and I'll link it up in the iCard. But if you want to kind of see like the basic specs of this planner, go check out that video for more like specific details. So I have set up this planner for how I'm going to use it in 2022, and it's based on how I used the same planner in 2021. So let's get started. So this is the, nice box that it comes in, and here's the actual planner. So here's my 2022 budget planner, and this is a Clever Fox Premium Budget Planner. So getting into how I set it up, first thing is I put my name on the nameplate page. And then I haven't filled out my financial goals yet, only because it's not 2022 yet and I don't fully know what I'm going to, what my goals are going to be. So I left that blank for now. Same with this tactics and strategies. So to start off, I want to point out, since this planner is undated, I have added the month and year to every single month. And you can kind of see that when I quickly flip through it. So that's the first thing that I did in the top left-hand corner. For this video, I do want to point out that I haven't filled out every single thing in the planner, obviously because the year hasn't started yet. So if you see empty sections, just, assume that I will get to those, goals, to-do lists, bills and expenses when the month actually comes and when I actually know for sure what those goals, to-do lists and bills and expenses are. So past the date, I have put in the income section my first paycheck, my second paycheck, and then I have a small business called Cove Candle Co. that's on Etsy. So that is my second form of income. So moving down to the bottom of the page, you can see that I wrote in the monthly calendar, and I've also noted my 2 paydays. Once I fill out this bills and expenses section, I will then take those same bills and due dates and do the same thing where I have a checklist next to what the bill is, but I haven't filled that out yet. Moving to the next page, we now get into our monthly budget page. So on the monthly budget page, I've written in every single line item that goes under the 8 categories that I talked about last week. And those categories are home, food, healthcare, credit and loans, personal, transport, entertainment, and other. So to write in the budgeted amount, I do use the Friction Clicker Erasable 07 pen. And this is an erasable pen. And I use this because sometimes, not very often, but every so often, my budgeted amount will change throughout the month. So I like to use this erasable pen so that I can erase the amount that's no longer accurate and put in the accurate amount without having to cross things out. So that's what I use to fill in my budgeted column. And then moving into the next page, so getting into our first expense tracker, I always use this first left-hand page expense tracker to track my sinking funds and my savings. So what I do is, since I get paid twice a month, I split these up into 2 date ranges. So for each pay period, I create a little chart, and in the chart, I list out the description of the sinking fund or saving goal. And then I take note of the amount that it changes that month, and then the balance of the, each sinking fund or savings goal right here. And then on the bottom of the page, I have a monthly total where I add up the 2 totals from the month and then show the ending balance of all of my savings accounts. So like I said before, I do this on every single month's the first spread of the expense tracker on the left-hand side. So I still have 1, 2, 3 expense trackers to actually use for tracking my expenses. But since I've never filled out all 4 pages of this, I realized that I could use this first page for something else. So that's how I track all my savings and sinking funds. So on the monthly totals page, I do want to show how I fill out the pie chart. So at the bottom, I have all my categories here. I do add in my savings and investments as a different category, as well as I use my other as both businessy type expenses, not for my small business, but for my personal portfolio, website and stuff like that. So I attribute a mild liner color to every single category. And then once I have the amount and percentage, I'll use the percentage and just outline the portion of the chart that corresponds with that color, and then write on the side the name and the specific amount that it's taking up. So after the monthly totals page, we then get into the notes and ideas page. And specifically how I use this is I use these two pages to forecast what I'm going to do in this month. So I would be using this page the month prior. So I'd be using this January page in December when I'm just trying to figure out what my budget for the month is going to be. So I make sure to use pencil, but then I kind of write in everything that I'm expecting to happen next month, how much I want to save for things, how much I want to invest. And I use this as kind of like my blueprint or guide for filling in the monthly budget pages. So usually these amounts that I budget for come from this page that I kind of forecast the month prior. So on this right-hand side of the page, I do my own kind of version of the budget by paycheck method. And what I do is, here's an example. I did it on a like little note so that you can see. But what I do is I start with my paycheck amount. So all these numbers are theoretical for the example. So for example, say I get paid $2,000 every paycheck, and P1 stands for paycheck one. So I put that amount here, so $2,000. So since I know how much and when all of my fixed expenses are taken out, I will put those fixed costs that are listed over here, put them on the corresponding paycheck, and then I will, like from top to bottom, every single thing that's on this page, I will list out how much it is, and then I will subtract this amount by the paycheck and just keep going down all the way to the end of the page. And this one helps me to not overdraft. It also helps because I can then forecast when I'm going to take like things like savings, when those are going to come out of my account, since those generally don't have a, like, it doesn't matter which paycheck they come out of. This is where I kind of forecast or plan when I'm going to save X, Y, and Z for savings, since it doesn't really matter. So I do this method every single month. The month prior. So I don't like to forecast like months and months in advance, just because I like budgeting and it's fun for me. So I try to like keep this as something that I do monthly as a way to like reward myself for like a fun activity. So this is where I figure everything out for the month, and then I take these numbers and in pen write them on the monthly budget pages. So that's how I set up every single month in this budget planner. And I do want to show you at the end how I've kind of set up my additional pages. So at the end, we have two spreads of savings trackers. And what I do is I will put a savings goal or sinking fund here, the amount that I plan on saving for that, and the due date if applicable. And then I'll just make note kind of on an individual sinking fund or savings goal basis what my progress is. So I really like this view because even though every single month I'm making note of my savings and sinkings funds, it's nice to be able to see them isolated. So by each goal or sinking fund, I can see, oh, I deposited $200 a month, and I can see where we started and where we ended, but like just for that one thing. So this is kind of redundant in the sense that it's the same numbers that are in my monthly budget, but I do like this view because it does help you see how much you're saving overall throughout the year. And then for the debt tracker, I do the exact same thing. So like my car payment is my only debt. So I put that here, and I can put my starting balance, minimum payment, date, and the amount paid. So for every single month, I, list how much my car payment is and what the balance is after that. And this is just a great way to kind of see your debt shrinking, and also to see how much you actually pay in monthly payments every single year. So after the debt tracker, we get into the regular bill tracker, which I've just added the months of the year up at the top. And then same thing with a summary of the year. So now we're gonna get into the actual spreads that I created. So on this spread, we have my financial goals, and these are like my longer term financial goals. So we have 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years, and then 10 plus years. So this is just a good place for me kind of to brainstorm. It's just, things that I might want to do down the road, goals I might want to accomplish in 3, 5, 10 plus years. After this, we have two specific trackers. So on the right side, we have my net worth tracker. And the way that this works is for every single month, I list out the ending savings balance, debt balance, investment balance, and then I calculate my net worth for every single month. So I do that for all 12 months. And then at the bottom, I do kind of have a starting and ending point with the difference here for all those same categories. And then on the right-hand side, we have my memberships and subscriptions. So I set up this chart to kind of just keep note of all of my yearly subscriptions, things that come out of my paycheck, not on a regular basis. So I'll eventually write the date, the description, the annual cost, and the monthly cost. And then at the bottom of the page, I will make note of how much money I need to save in each single month to fulfill the, the subscriptions that are in this chart. So after my net worth tracker and memberships and subscriptions, there are a few extra dot grid spreads that I haven't added anything to. I'm not sure if I'm gonna add anything else. These might just be, notes pages, but in general, these are the kind of like 3 things that I'd like to keep track of every single year. So with that being done, that is the entire setup of my 2022 Clever Fox Premium Budget Planner. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of how I set this planner up and how I kind of budget in general. And if you have any tips or if you want to share how you budget as well for anybody else in the comments to kind of knowledge share and see what other people do. Before you leave, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.